we're over that. Hey guys, today is day 85. So let's see if we pull a prompt today to help us finish these file folders. See what we can do. Hand stitch some paper pieces together. I don't know, we'll see if we'll incorporate these or not. We may do something separate and we may incorporate them as well. I don't know. I'll think of something. Here's what I came up with so far. I'm not real sure where it's going to go, but this is what I'm thinking. I have this bag and it has had these envelopes and cards in it for a long time. These are like handmade paper and there's a little card or like a sheet of paper inside. So I thought these would be really pretty to work with. I've decided not to go with these guys today. I'm going to take a break from these and wait for another prompt to lead me somewhere with these. So I've got these pulled out and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. I don't know if we'll do 5, but I've got them all pulled out. And then I went and pulled out some paper. I wanted some vintage looking paper to go with it, and I wanted something that I could put on the inside that would either fit this paper, which this is perfect, or that I could add into here with the paper. I haven't decided that part. I don't know. This paper came from this paper stack, Recollections, and it's called Always Remember. Now I have these sheets of paper. I pulled out increments of 3 that I liked together. So I liked these 3 together. And then I liked these 3 together. And these 3. And this paper came from this paper stack. It's Keller, Kurtz and Company, and it is by the Paper Bag Studio. This is really pretty paper, and I've had it a long time, and I thought, I can't use that, it's so pretty. Well, what's the point of having it, you know? So we're over that. I'm so over the not using stuff, it's not even funny. So then I've got my mom's pinking shears, a pair of her old pinking shears. I have a lot of her scissors, but these I keep close to me, and I don't know if I'll use them, but I've got them out because I'm going to be cutting some paper or tearing it. And then I have regular scissors just for cutting paper. I've got embroidery thread and a needle, and this needle will take the whole amount of thread here, like all 6 strands, but I probably will take it apart and use 3 at a time. Let me gather my thoughts. I'll be right back. Here's my 3 papers that I chose to start with. I really like this area down here. So I'm going to cut this out, and thank goodness it doesn't look too difficult to fussy cut, because you know how I feel about fussy cutting. I also like this dress form. I don't know if I'll cut it out. I doubt I'll use it. I really want to use this down here. So I'm going to cut that out off camera, and I also took my embroidery floss and I pulled off a long strand so that I could get my needle ready, and I did take it apart. So it comes in 6 strands, and I pulled it apart and made 3. So 3 strands are threaded through my needle already. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out, and that's as far as I know so far. So I'll be back when that's done. Okay, I have this little piece cut out, and I went ahead and cut out this strip here that was alongside, just in case I want to use it as a border. And then I think what I want to do is I want 2 sections of this paper cut with my pinking shears, and I might want to get this little decoration in, or this one here. I'm not sure. And then this one I'm just going to cut a square or a rectangle. I'm just going to cut a piece out and see how I feel about it. Okay, here's my pieces cut out. I have this little section and this little section. And I've been playing with positioning and deciding where I wanted stuff to go. And I think the first thing I want is this. Take this out for now. I think I want this stitched on the side right here. And I was thinking I definitely want this down here. And this, I might put it at the bottom here, like this. I'll have to cut it a little bit to make it fit properly. That way you can see it. And this one, thinking back there like this. We'll start with this guy. All I'm going to do is stitch this little paper down. So I'm just going to lay it right here. It's going to come up from the back. I'll go ahead and knot the thread. I don't really want to knot. I may cut the knot off and just glue it, make a small knot. And then I'm just going to go down, and I'm just going to show you a few stitches so that you can see what I'm doing. And then I'll just come up right about, I'll make a hole on the top so I can know where to come up, about that far apart. If you can see, I think you can. And then I'll go back here and I'll find my hole, and I'll come up through there. And I'll go down again. And they won't be even, they won't be perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way down here. Okay, I've got my hand stitching here, and I fulfilled the obligation on this card for stitching. I'm going to glue the rest of this on. Put some glue down here. I'm gonna put it down right at the bottom. Okay, so I'm gonna glue this down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is glued down, and now I wanna bring this one in, and we're gonna glue it about right there. And I'm not going all the way to the edge, so I think I'll be fine this way. Make sure it fits on the page properly. So that looks really cute. So now what I want to do is take this sheet here, and I'm going to go and cut these off so that they're individual, and then I'll come back and we'll do the next step. Okay, these are all cut into separate pieces, and I chose this one. It says yesterday, today, and tomorrow because I just felt like it suited this. I want this glued down in here, and I'm going to cover this stitching, but before I do, I want to put a ribbon here in the front and tie a little bow. And I'm going to take a pokey tool here, or an awl, whatever you've got. So I measured the card, it's 4.5 inches, and I just guesstimated kind of where I thought I might want it. So I put a hole here, and I put a hole here. Probably should get my awl because it has it would make a bigger hole. Then I'm going to take this ribbon. This is just organza ribbon. Okay, so I just used my awl, and I made the holes bigger. And then I'm just going to take a pencil or something that I can use, or the end of a paintbrush, or you could thread your ribbon if you want to, but I don't feel like getting another needle and threading it. So I'm just going to poke it through like this. And see if I can grab it. Yes. Okay. And then I'm going to go through the other side. Make sure that's flat in the back. And I'm going to decide how much I need to actually make my bow. So I'm just going to cut it at the top. Then I'll just tie a bow. So I think I'm going to tie a knot so this will stay. So once I get the knot on there, it should be easier. There we go. Okay. And you might have to finagle with it for a little bit to get it to the position you want. And if you want to, put a little dab of glue to help you hold it where you want it. Alright, I did put a little dab of glue behind it just to hold it down a little bit because it kept wanting to pop up and go the other way, and I didn't really want it to go the other way. Now I'm going to put my card down. I'm going to glue it down. Just cover the ribbon. Line it up the best you can, top and bottom. This paper that I cut this little piece out of, I cut another strip, and I used my peeking shears, and I want to put a little border on this little card. And it's not really a card, it's just paper, and I'm just going to let it sit in there. We'll put it on this side because the writing goes this way. And then I just want to trim it away from the paper. So now that can go in our little card here. Okay, so we have our first one done, and I did not do any distressing. You can go around the edges distressing your card if you want to. You can distress all these pieces right here. You can do it after the fact too. It's probably easier to do it beforehand. And if you want to put a little something back here, maybe a little strip of like something like this down here so you can put your name or something on it, that'd be cute. I went ahead and added a little piece of the purple and a little piece of that other color that had the flowers in it, this one here, just at the back. And so you could sign it if you want to because it's light enough, or you could put the date, or you could just leave it like that. It's just cute. Alright, so now we're going on to the next card. So for this one, I'm going to use these 3 papers, and I'm going to go ahead before we get started and cut these off into sections. Okay, I've got them all cut, and for this one, I'm choosing to use her. And I think what I want to do, and I probably will do this off camera and then just show you because it's just cutting. I want to take this paper here and I want to cut it to a size that fits right in here. And I'm going to use my pinking shears. And then I want to take this one and I want to cut it small enough to fit inside this one that's already on there. And then we'll put her in the center. And I'll show you before I put it together. Okay, I have my papers cut out. What I want to do is I have to do some stitching just to make it legal. And I don't want to stitch around the edge here. And I thought about stitching it across the top here, and I don't really want to do that. But what I do want to do is I think I'm going to glue these three together like this. And then I'm going to come back, and before I glue it onto my cover, I'm going to run some stitches right here, 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 and here. So I'm just going to line everything up the best I can, since it's not perfectly even, and glue it down. So I think my stitches are going to go from here to here. And I'm going to put some holes so I can see where to come in and out, and I'll do one before we go and finish it off camera. Okay, so that's how it's going to look. Okay, so that's what my stitching on this one looks like. So now I'm going to glue this to the front. Okay, for the inside of this one, I'm going to use the he said, she said. It just kind of has that look, that vibe to me. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to glue this in, but I'm only going to glue it on 3 sides. I'm going to glue it probably here, here, and here. So leave this side open. And then we have this little piece of paper here that's included, and I want to stick that in there. I want this to be a little tuck spot. I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to fold it in half, and we're going to tear it apart. Make 2 pieces out of it. I'm going to put them together like this. I'm going to put a strip of this paper that we used up front here on the top of here like this, and I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch some ribbon in right here, but it'll probably be behind the paper like that. Okay, so that way you have something to pull in and out. Okay, it's stitched across, and what I did was instead of putting my ribbon in like this, I put it in like this, and that way the 2 ends were sticking out. And you could just cut your ends after you've already stitched them in if you wanted to, but I just switched it around. And I stitched the top. I left some threads, which I love, and I'm going to stick it in here like that. Okay, there's our card. Here's the back. I think it's really cute. Okay, so we have 2 done now, and we're going to go do a 3rd one. So for the last card, we're only going to do 3. Okay, so what I want to do is take these 3 papers. I went ahead and cut this dress form out of the previous paper that we used, the very first one, because I really like it, and I think I want to use it with this here. But I want to be able to see the card. So what I think I want to do is cut with my pinking shears, cut the edge, and just have a strip laying on my card like this, and have her sitting like this. And the way I'll do that is I will turn my card, my paper over, and I'll take my card and I'll lay it down, and I'll figure out how far in I want to show her. And we can always cut it smaller, but you can't make it bigger, so let's go a little large. And what I'm going to do is measure out like that, and I'm going to take my pencil, wherever that went, there it is. And I'm going to mark it right here so I know that's about where I want it to be. So then I'm just going to cut this little area out. Okay, I like that. I think that's good. We'll have to trim it up a little bit, but that's okay. And now I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to cut another piece just like this, except a little smaller. So I'm going to use this as my template and measure out and then pink the edge and lay it down. Okay, I like how this looks. First thing I want to do is glue down this first piece. Okay, here's how I'm going to get my hand stitching in. I've glued down this piece, but not this piece yet. I brought back in this paper from a previous one that we did. And I used this paper again, and I used this paper. And what I'm going to do is I cut 3 little pieces, and these are her fabric swatches. This reminds me of a dressmaker. So she's going to have her little dress form here, as if she's trying to make something. This is going to be glued down here, but before we glue it down, I'm going to hand stitch her little swatches here on her little, it's like her dream board or something. She's pegged them on her board, just stuck them up there so she'd have something to reference so she would know what to do when she was making her dress. Okay, I'm going to glue my string down in the back because this is going to get glued down. Okay, now we're going to glue our little dress form down. Okay, so we have our little dress form down. I think this is adorable. This might be my favorite one. Okay, so now I have to figure out how I want to do the inside. For this one, she's gonna get, which one? General info. Who, what, when, where, and why. She's making something for someone and she needs to fill out her information. And I'm gonna glue this in on 3 sides, this time side, side, bottom. Okay, because I am gonna do similar to what we did to the other one and use our little ribbon at the top. Alright, so I'm going to glue that and I'll be right back. Okay, for her little pocket there, we're going to use this paper, and because we folded it this way to fit in here, it would kind of get lost this way. So we're going to fold it longwise like this. Okay, so I'm going to fold it this way and I'm going to tear it in half. Alright, I've got my paper torn and I'm going to use this little guy here, that's this paper here, and we're going to stitch our ribbon on just like we did the other one. I'm going to put the papers together. Since we have enough room, I might off-center them like this a little bit so that they go in like that. Put my paper up here, and I'm going to tuck my ribbon in, and we're going to stitch across the top. Okay, I got my paper stitched together, so we're going to stick it in the top here. I like the fact that you can see some of the paper. So that's our last card. Okay, guys, so let's bring these back in and look at them real quick. Here's card number 1. Here's our hand stitching down this side. And then our back. And this is the second one, and here's our hand stitching. And then we have our little tuck spot there. And there's our back. And then our last one, little fabric swatches, that's where our hand stitching is. And then we have our tuck spot. I'm going to stitch this in, I'm pretty sure. Or actually, I may stitch across like this. Just stitch it on like that. I may do that. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow for day number 86. Bye-bye. Okay, I came back to show you. This is what I did. I stitched right across the corner. Just machine stitched. So that way it won't fall out. I love it.